thegearnetwork.com.
The following is a presentation of the Gear Radio Network.
Well, you know something, Mean Gene. When I want to win some money, I listen to the Fantasy Football Bros podcast. What you gonna do, dude? You're gonna listen to it. You're gonna laugh. You're gonna win some money. What you gonna do when these 26-inch pythons run wild on you, brother?
Here we go. Hey, everything on three. Number three. Wait, no, wait. Oh, wait on three. 1, 2, 3. Hey, next up. Eyes on three. Everything on 3 and 1. Everything.
You are now listening to the Fantasy Football Bros podcast.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Chazz. And welcome back to the Fantasy Football Bros podcast. I think I did that out of order. But either way, returning, we've got the no nickname, no nonsense.
We are about time
back,
he shows up.
Boys, I know we are back. It has been a couple weeks, I think.
There you go.
Yeah, it's fitting. Needed it. Oh,
and you can already
good
hear.
to be back, boys.
We got the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. J. Coleman. J. Coleman, what's up, dog?
What's going on, boys?
Conspicuous by his absence is the fantasy football surgeon himself, Mr. Zags, but maybe he'll just pop in and he'll show up, maybe. We'll see. So we said we were going to take this week off, but, dude, there was way too much going on, way too much news happening that we could not skip this week. Free agency week is like, or free agency day, rather, is like super exciting now, and I love it. And, like, I used to say the football season starts at the draft. You know what I say about that?
Nah, bro.
Not anymore, man. Football season starts March 12th.
Free agency, baby.
Insane. We have a lot to cover.
The legal tampering period where everybody makes their verbal agreements.
Yeah.
Which is like February.
Which means starting now, free agency has begun.
Hell yeah. So we have a lot to talk about, and let's not waste any time other than I have a new nickname. It's Chazz. So
here we go.
Oh my God.
Not even 2 minutes into the podcast, we're starting.
Tell us why, Chazz.
What do you mean?
I had to bite. It's for content.
You had to bite because it's for content. Okay. What do you mean? I will.
You did call it, though. I mean, I'll give you that. I mean, those were some pretty solid picks, pretty solid predictions there.
Yeah, I'm gonna share it instead of just saying it. I'm gonna show everybody at home what I am referring to. 'Cause of course, it's taking.
Oh, he's got the clips. He's got the clips.
I'm prepared, guys. What do you want me to say?
That's a first.
I'm not, because I can't freaking log in because this shit's taking forever.
He forgot his password.
No, it's you know what? I'm going to call it out. It's TikTok being silly. So.
The password is taco.
Oh, that's true. Damn it. Well, now you're talking Dave. That's Dave's team name. Okay, so sorry. All right, here we go. I am going to share with you guys at home what I am speaking of right quick, and just to do a little glotation, if you will. So we're going into the Fantasy Football Bros YouTube, and we are talking about right here, y'all. Let's check it out and give it a listen.
We're having technical difficulties.
Is it working?
I can't hear anything.
It's not even playing, I don't think.
Am I sharing the screen?
Yeah, do you see that little button that says it's a little triangle that's pointing that way?
Whatever, then it's not working.
That way?
We tried. Oh, I know why. I think I know why. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties. I shared the wrong screen, perhaps. Let me try it one more time. That could have been why.
I thought you were prepared.
I guess not. We're doing this on the fly. Yep,
We don't prepare on this show, guys.
I shared the wrong screen. Forgive me. I would like to see Kirk Cousins end up in Atlanta, and I also want to see Atlanta draft J.J. McCarthy and have 1 year of Kirk Cousins. J.J. McCarthy behind him. Perfect fit, guy that knows how to deliver the ball to the weapons they got. I think it's something they need. So let's talk about. I think he's a perfect fit for their division rival and Philadelphia Eagles. You put him in there. You know they're losing Swift of the free agency. I think you put him in there to help block and to help catch passes from Jalen Hurts. I think he's the perfect fit for there. So I'm taking that as a victory lap, but like. I'm happy with those signings, and obviously the other one, which I didn't pull up, is and I said it for 3 weeks, is Derrick King Henry to the Ravens. To me, those are the three biggest signings. Am I missing one? You think that's pretty impactful and big?
I don't know how impactful it is, but Josh Jacobs to the Packers was.
It's a big one too, right? Yep, that's a good one.
I mean. They get a 26-year-old running back as opposed to a 30-year-old running back. And don't get me wrong, Aaron Jones has had great seasons in Green Bay, but their team's younger now. They have young wide receivers that played very, very well this season with Jordan Love, who played very, very well this season, and they didn't have any use for Aaron Jones anymore. And not to mention, Josh Jacobs is kind of a little bit of a combination between Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, who are both no longer in Green Bay. So now they have basically two running backs in one running back in Josh Jacobs, who I think he's going to have a really good season with them as long as they can keep it up. But they did lose Bakhtiari. I mean, he's been hurt for a while. So
he hasn't played in like 47 years.
He hasn't played. So. Yeah, he hasn't played in like 4 seasons. So it really isn't that big of a loss. But I mean, he's just a name.
No, you're right. Jacobs is a good one. That's a good one.
Jacobs going there that's huge for their offense.
It is huge. You're right about that. That slipped my mind. And then, of course, you had, because of that, you had the president of the United States, Alexander Madison, start signing with Minnesota, the Sam Darnold-led Minnesota. So until Minnesota drafts a quarterback.
Well, no, until Aaron Jones signed with the Vikings now.
Yeah, that's what I meant. So, yeah.
It's not Alexander Madison.
Yeah. They cut out.
I was going to say they cut him.
Yeah, and they signed Jones. So interesting. But let's talk about the big name. So of course we'll start with the quarterback. I said my piece on Kirk Cousins. I think it's the perfect fit. I'm not saying Falcons are a Super Bowl team, but I mean they were almost a playoff team with the worst quarterback play in the league. They've got a good young defense, good young weapons. This guy has shown he knows how to get the ball to his best weapon his entire career. He's always been able to get the ball to his best weapon.
And we might be able to finally see what Kyle Pitts is all about with a quarterback who we know can use his tight ends the way that they're supposed to be used. Yeah. I know Jay can't stand the guy, and how long are we going to be on the Kyle Pitts thing for? But he hasn't had a quarterback, so. With Kirk Cousins being there, I mean, I know he's coming off a pretty significant injury.
If he's bad this year, can we just put it to bed that he's?
Yeah, if he's bad this year,
he's in the graveyard.
Sure. I mean, I came in the graveyard last year, but I mean, it's not just him; it's Drake London too. Like Drake London, that's huge. That's a huge upgrade for that kid, and that kid showed this past year that he's better than we thought because we ripped down on him after his rookie year. I remember me and Jay were high on him coming in out of draft, and his rookie year he wasn't that great. Towards the end of the second year he got better, and now he's got a quarterback that just engineered Justin Jefferson to being a superstar.
Right.
So
the only downfall is that Kirk is kind of old, and he's also coming off an Achilles injury. So
sure. Yeah,
you can't run.
Yeah, you can't. So.
No, he's not going to run, but it could still potentially affect. He's still got to be able to step up and throw and all that other stuff. So.
No, you're right. It's something.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a thought. Sure, it has to be. You can't just discredit the Achilles thing, and that happened late in the season too. Not super late, but late enough to where about halfway through the season. So, is he going to be ready for training camp? Who knows?
If you ask Aaron Rodgers, who's 5 years older, he was going to be ready by week 17.
True.
So
I guess so. I like it for the Falcons. I do, and I
same.
like it for Bijan. I like it for Pitts. I like it for London, and they signed Darnell Mooney, who is a pretty good number 2. I mean, he had some rough years in Chicago, but
With
he
no
was in
quarterback.
Chicago.
Yeah, who doesn't
With
have
no
rough years in
quarterback.
Chicago?
Right, that's exactly my point. So now he's going into an offense with a pass-heavy quarterback who is not going to take off and run for 170 yards a game. And actually uses receivers, so that should help there and help his career a little bit. I'm not saying he's going to put up stellar numbers or superstar wide receiver 1 numbers, but I mean you'll definitely have some fantasy value in Darnell Mooney finally.
Well, I want to circle back to a name you mentioned here, and that's one of my baby boys, Bijan Robinson. Now, I remember you specifically, Adam, maybe it was Jay too, were off the Bijan trade, and your argument was they're going to stack the box. They don't have a quarterback, but, that argument there, which was true, and Bijan still ended up being an RB1 in fantasy football. But now, guess what?
Sure.
They have a quarterback that can deliver the ball to the weapons, so they're not going to be able to stack the box against Bijan, right? Ideally.
I agree.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, potentially, yeah. It depends on how good those weapons pan out.
But this should open it up even more for Bijan. So,
Yes.
Bijan had a wide RB1 season with no quarterback play, right? So now, I think the sky's the limit for Bijan. I'm not saying taking him as the first running back, but he's got to be in consideration in the top 3. I mean, he's got to be. Now, especially all these running backs we're going to talk about, guys, their value is better this year than it was last year. I value Bijan higher, who I valued high last year. I value Saquon higher, who I valued high last year. And I value King Henry higher than I valued. I mean, do you guys all agree with at least with that statement?
No, I totally agree with that. And I think all the running backs that may move are in a better position. Maybe
Tony
minus Tony Pollard. But they just signed Calvin Ridley, which is a big signing for the Titans. So having now pretty good wide receivers could open up Pollard a little bit more. But we saw Tony Pollard do well when he had another running back like Zeke in front of him. Tajay Spears is not going to be that guy for Pollard. So
I got a good analogy for Jay being the biggest resident baseball fan of the crew. The Titans with Nuke and Calvin Ridley, and I guess now, and don't forget about the other guy too, Treylon Burks. But with Nuke and Ridley, are the Angels from the past 3 years. 2 awesome players. And they're just an awful team that won't do anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You got 2. Well, I mean, Nuke is in the graveyard now, but I mean,
because of where he went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But potentially you have 2 superstar wide receivers and you don't have jack shit to throw to said wide receivers.
And that's exactly what I was just going to say. And this is really a make or break year for Will Levis. He was a rookie last year, right? So you got to give him
unless Mason Rudolph beats him out for the starter.
Yeah,
I didn't even know Mason went there.
Yeah,
he did. They just signed him today, maybe 6 hours ago.
See, James breaking
news here. Really depends. It really depends on how Levis is going to play, and if he can take that next step needed to be able to use those weapons and use them correctly and get the ball to him without. Any struggling.
They have from last year. They've upgraded at wide receiver. Who knows? I don't think it's probably lateral at QB and then downgraded at running back. So I mean,
I was out on the Tony Pollard train at the beginning of this year, but let's get back on track. Talk about our running backs. So let's talk, of course, about since we're talking the Titans, let's talk about Derrick Henry. I said it. And I said it for weeks, not just that episode, that the perfect fit for Derrick Henry is in Baltimore. When you have a running quarterback like Lamar Jackson who can pull the ball and run to the side with speed, you need a monster of a man to run the ball up the middle. Do you get more of a monster of a man than Derrick Henry? Now, Derrick Henry is going into an offense with the MVP of the NFL, a team that was in the AFC Championship game. Okay, he's also going on the best quarterback he's ever had in his life, and probably the best receiving core he's ever had in his life, and the best tight end he's ever had in his life, and the best defense he's ever had in his life. Like, I am not scared of. Okay, just because if it's a PPR league, I might be on the downswing of a top 3 pick, but I think Derrick Henry is a top 4 or 5 running back drafted this year. I don't think you could talk me out of it, Adam. I mean, what do you think about how I just stated it there?
No, you're absolutely right. And with Lamar, as good as he is on the outside, and as much as he does run, you're right. When they do need to slow it down a little bit and kind of give him the more extended Gus Edwards role, right? Who was that guy for them for a bit to run up the middle. And I know he didn't have that great of a season. I'm not saying Gus Edwards was anything to, balk over, but having Derrick Henry there, I completely agree. This is the best team that he's ever had around him, offense and defense. So being able to hand that ball off to an absolute just bruiser, it's gonna be tough to beat the Ravens. I'll tell you.
I do want to argue one thing, and I don't think we realize, like you said, he didn't have that great of a year. This is Gus Edwards' stats, right? I mean, they're not amazing, but he had 810 yards, 4 yards a carry, and 13 touchdowns.
No, he had a good season. Yeah, I'm just thinking in terms of just he wasn't their bell cow, where Derrick Henry's going to be their bell cow.
Derrick Henry's walking into a team where Gus Edwards had 13 touchdowns and 4.1 yards a carry, when Derrick Henry is leaving a team where he had 4.2 yards a carry and 12 touchdowns. And mind you, everyone thinks Derrick Henry's so much older than Gus Edwards. He's only 1 year older than Gus Edwards. So,
but he's got all the miles on him that Gus Edwards doesn't have.
I don't even think anyone can argue it's not an upgrade, even if he has the same.
It's definitely an upgrade.
I mean, Gus Edwards had 13 touchdowns. Derrick Henry's going to have 10 touchdowns minimum.
Yeah.
Minimum. 10 touchdowns minimum. I mean, and that's kind of what we expect from him. I mean, his touchdowns, he's had double-digit touchdowns since 2018. So that's what we expect from him minimally. But it is such a big move. I mean, this, to me, makes the Baltimore Ravens the favorites in the AFC right now. 100%.
Yeah, agreed. I don't know if I necessarily agree with you on a top 5 running back in fantasy, but...
Well, we'll have to see when we get to our rankings, because I would be shocked if you can find 5 running backs you're more comfortable with than Derrick Henry going to the Ravens. I would be literally shocked. Because if you're just throwing names out there, of course, Christian McCaffrey, maybe Bijan, maybe the guy from the Rams, and maybe Saquon.
How dare you? How dare you not say Kyron Williams?
I forgot.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so
there's 4.
There's 4. There's 4 right there. I mean, who else?
You're so disrespectful.
I know.
You're not going to throw Josh Jacobs. You're not going to throw Josh Jacobs.
I might throw Barkley back in the mix.
I said Barkley.
Henry
Barkley was part of the 4. There.
Oh, did you? My bad.
I said Barkley, Bijan, Christian, and Williams. I mean, those are just.
Your top 4 running backs last year were CMC, Mostert, Kyron Williams, and ass-eating season.
So you're not going to take. Nobody's taking Mostert over him, and I don't think anyone's going to take ass-eating over him. So
yeah, I don't
know. I mean, Mostert did have 18 touchdowns. So
he's not going to be a first-round pick. He's old. You know what I mean? Like, and everyone's going to be drafting Achane before him. So maybe Achane, but
yeah,
But so like that's what I'm saying. So Derrick Henry is going to be around top 5 picks. So, but we got to talk about Quan, and we didn't get there yet. And Saquon Barkley was a first-round pick in fantasy last year. And everything everyone's always said about Saquon Barkley is he's on a shit team. He's got no help. He's got no offensive line. Well, he happens to be on the best offensive line in football. I know they lost their center, but he happens to be on the best offensive line in football. And he has Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, and Dallas Goedert surrounding him. So he has weapons up the ass. This is a team that had a guy that everyone left for dead, who we should mention too, Deandre Swift got a big deal too. But they had a guy, Deandre Swift, who everyone left for dead, have a really killer year. Now, the first thing everyone's going to be scared about is he's not going to get a lot of touchdowns because of the tush push, right? Are we sure? Are we sure that the tush push is going to be so effective without Jason Kelce moving forward, Jay?
I mean, who knows? I mean, I don't think you can put it on one guy, but I
that's.
I think he's definitely going to lose some to that, but it's hard to say. It's so hard to say because they're so pass first, and then you got the tush push, and then you got Quan. So, like,
they give him a lot of money to come run the football.
They did.
So that's sometimes.
But they're still not going to change their identity, I don't think.
They should think about it because they were awful.
I think they kind of have to now.
They were bad at the end of the year.
Coaches don't like to change their identity.
Yeah, you're right.
So
I'm high on him. I'm always high on him, but like he's got no excuse now. I mean,
he's definitely more intriguing. It's just like the downside to like a lot of the stuff is like is the unknown. You don't know what this team's going to be like with him.
Right. And we won't know until the season starts, obviously. But, it's just – you're right. He's definitely more intriguing. And I agree with everything Chazz said. He has a much better team around him than he did in New York, with a really good quarterback and a really good, 1 and 2 wide receiver and a, really good offensive line. And he's got a really good defense behind them, too. The Eagles' defense were up towards the top all season. So, a lot of people are like, oh, you're talking about running backs. What does defense have to do? Defense has to do with everything. Defense is the ones that are keeping you in games and allowing you to, be able to run the ball late in the game. And you want to have an effective running back to be able to do that. So now that they have a reliable running back to do that, they're going to take a lot more pressure off Jalen Hurts to take off and run. And I think the same thing in Baltimore with Derrick Henry. It's going to take a lot of pressure off of Lamar Jackson to not have to, scramble as much and run as much because now he's got an option behind him. And, Jackson and Hurts are similar quarterbacks, right? They have decent arms. I think Hurts has a better arm than Jackson, and Jackson has better legs than Hurts. So taking that pressure off those two quarterbacks is going to be huge for both of those offenses.
Swift finished as the 23rd overall running back in fantasy last year on Philly. He had 1,000 yards, but he only had 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, so
because he lost them all to Jalen Hurts.
But what was great about Swift is he was like a 9th round pick, so.
Yeah,
he ended up being an RB2, but like
right. So those are good numbers for a 9th round running back.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah, but we're also so. But now with Quan, it's going to be a first.
Well, Swift is. I mean, I don't think it's any shock that what I'm going to say here. Saquon Barkley is the better player than Deandre Swift, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So you had a top production there, and Swift didn't take over the starting job till like week 2, right? So like you had the top production there with a running back that everyone left for dead. Now you get arguably one of the most talented running backs in the league going to that system. So it's like, man, I'm all systems go. Quan is going to be in the top 3 for me, probably.
It is, but like the 5 touchdowns is concerning for their starting running back.
Yeah, but I don't think that I can almost guarantee. I will put money on that Jalen Hurts does not have 18 fucking rushing touchdowns. Isn't that what he had last year? I think. Let me look it up. I think Jalen Hurts had 18 rushing touchdowns. That's insane if that's what it was.
15.
15. Okay, sorry. So 15 rushing touchdowns.
He had the same as Josh Allen.
He's not going to do that again. He was banged up last year, and he had a down year, everybody would kind of say, even though his stats are similar to 2022.
But even so, like, okay, say he, I don't know, maybe he loses like 3 touchdowns on the year or something, so then Quan gets another 3 that you're talking 8 touchdowns for a first-round pick.
That's pretty good if you're catching the football too. You got one thing we got to remember is Saquon is an all-purpose back. DeAndre Swift is not an all-purpose back. You had Boston Scott in there getting touchdowns. You had Kenneth Gainwell in getting passes. That's not going to happen with Saquon Barkley. I just want to remind people at home that in Saquon Barkley's rookie year, he rushed for 1,300 yards and had 91 receptions, and that was the only year he played with Eli Manning. And then since then, he's at 52 receptions, 6, he got hurt, 41, 57, 41. But that rookie year in a good offense, he had 1,300 rushing yards and 91 receptions. That's like what Stephon Diggs gets reception-wise. So, like, I'm not saying he's getting 91 receptions, but, like, he's not going to come off the field like Deandre Swift was. So I'm not expecting him to finish in the top 20. I'm expecting him to finish in the top 6, possibly top first. And that is my honest expectations. Yes, he's one of my favorite players in the league, but B, he's literally on probably one of the top 3 offenses in the league.
Your love for him, I think, is clouding your judgment a little bit. To say, it's wild for you to say that.
I don't think that's
there's no way he loses touchdowns to Jalen Hurts. You can't say there's no way he's. No, you pretty much did. You were like, oh yeah, he's not going to lose touchdowns to him.
He is, but I don't think Jalen Hurts is going to have as many. I think the tush push was getting found out, and now that Jason Kelsey's out, I'm not saying it's dead, but I don't.
They still weren't. Made it. They weren't able to stop it. He got 15 touchdowns still. So
Jason Kelsey made that play. It was the center every time. It was going over Jason Kelsey every single time.
We'll find out.
If Saquon didn't sign there, even if they signed the President of the United States, Alexander Madison, I would be saying that Jalen Hurts isn't going to get as many rushing touchdowns from him.
Yeah. I think just most people should have it in the back of their mind that there's a chance that he loses touchdowns to Hurts.
100%. But I'm also not expecting Saquon Barkley to have 15 rushing touchdowns. I'm expecting Saquon Barkley to have like 8 or 9 and like 60 receptions and a few receiving touchdowns. That's my expectations. So I'm not going in there with big gaudy touchdown numbers. He's going to make up for it with receptions. But we should talk about it's an interesting one, and I want to hear your guys' take of Deandre Swift signing with Jay's Bears. He is the guy, right? I mean, they went out, they signed him like 2 minutes into free agency. The first big deal off the board, they gave him almost as much money as Derrick Henry got. I think he got as much money as Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry got 2 years, $16 million. Swift got 3 years, $24.
So yeah, $8 million a year. And Barkley was the biggest with 12 a year, but so he's got the second biggest deal on running backs. Immediately. So, like, to me, this is signifying they want to use him. I'm not worried about Roschon Johnson. I'm not worried about Khalil Herbert. They've proved that they're not much. So, Jay? What's your like first take on them getting DeAndre Swift?
My first take is that everyone that goes to the Bears dies. So like I want to be excited for it, and I think he could be good there, but it's the fucking Bears. So I mean, I don't know how I feel about this one. Like, I want to say that's good, and I think he's going to be great, but I mean, it's tough.
Adam,
I just think he went into another running back rotation.
No way.
Just because it's DeAndre Swift doesn't mean that they're just going to be like, oh, sorry, Roschon Johnson, sorry, Khalil Herbert. I think
so. Well, this is another one of Chad's boys, so you know how he has a feeling for Swift. He was like, Swift is the guy, and then he went crashed and burned.
And then he goes to Philly, and we all think he's in a rotation, and he blows everyone else out of the water and is their starter from game 2 on. And Rashard Penny is a lot more competition than fucking Roschon Johnson. And so, like, I think he's going to easily – but they don't like Khalil Herbert. They benched him. They were starting fucking the fat guy and Roschon Johnson over him. So Khalil Herbert's not a threat. And if you want to say Roschon Johnson, they must love Roschon Johnson that they went and signed the second highest paid running back in free agency on the minute that it was available. They must love Roschon Johnson. So I sometimes
it's just the Bears, dude. Like you're expecting so much from the Bears.
Right.
Just because they got DeAndre Swift doesn't mean that they're going to be this fucking
They're still going to suck.
Oh no, they still have Justin Fields, who's going to run all over everybody like he always does.
No. What is a rookie quarterback's best friends? tight end, and a pass-catching running back. They don't have Justin Fields. They're going to have Caleb Williams, and he's going to be hopefully in my estimation, checking the ball down a lot to Deandre Swift. That in my head. I'm not saying Deandre Swift is a top 5. I'm not saying any of that stuff. But he's going to be better than people. He's going to be better on the Bears than he would have been on the Eagles this year.
Where are you comfortable drafting DeAndre Swift in fantasy?
Putting that in my head right now, I haven't done my rankings yet, but I'm not putting him up there in those rankings I was saying earlier. But he wouldn't be too far off. I'm saying maybe 10th running back. I mean,
no, I want to know what round you would draft him in though.
3rd, maybe. Like please
draft DeAndre Swift in the 3rd round.
I mean, like I said, I haven't done my rankings yet, but it depends on what the rankings is. If he's my 10th ranked running back and there's 4 guys ahead of him that are there, okay, I'm going to take one of those guys. But if he's my 10th ranked running back and he's on top, I'm going to take him.
Just to compare for last season in fantasy wise, the Bears running backs finished 41, 44, and 50 out of 50 running backs.
Yeah, so that's why I don't believe in Roschon Johnson.
And they combined for 8 touchdowns for the 3 running backs.
And even DeAndre Swift, who was getting touchdowns vultured, right, still had 5 rushing touchdowns. And so, again, if you're saying that he ended up at 24 last year, I'm thinking, okay, how about this? I have DeAndre Swift in Fantasy Football Bros League. I traded him. He was part of the trade. I acquired Stephon Diggs and DeAndre Swift. Goose acquired, was it Waddle and Saquon? So now we're talking keepers. I don't exactly know Swift's value. Probably 8th round. We'll just say 8th round to be fair. He's in the idea as a keeper in the 8th round, right? Wouldn't you? That's fair.
Yeah, I would keep him for the 8th round.
Yeah, if you're talking keepers, yeah. I mean,
I'm just saying. So his value already is above the 8th round in our heads. So he's already valued more than where he was drafted last year. So he's already on the upkick there. So
yeah, I would value him. I think I'd be comfortable with Swift in like the 6th. That'd probably be the earliest I'd take him. I don't think anybody is going to go out there going, oh my God, he's a bear. I need to have him.
Just here's some numbers. Here's some names I'm going to throw out real quick. We won't spend all day on this, but here's some starting running backs around the league. You're telling me you're taking this guy or Swift. Gus Edwards in the Chargers.
Swift.
Right, okay. I'm there, obviously.
I have a little soft spot for Gus Edwards, but okay. I would take Swift over Edwards.
Okay. The guy we just talked about, Tony Pollard.
Swift.
Mm-hmm.
I would take Pollard.
Okay. Austin Eckler now in Washington.
Yeah, he's fucking dead, so definitely Swift.
I would still take Eckler.
Oh my God. He's a 2nd string running back. They literally said it. Did you know how much money they gave him, by the way?
I didn't even look.
Where did
he even? Oh, he went to the Commanders, right?
2 years, 11.43 million.
I would take.
I thought it was 2 years for 8.
No,
is that with incentives? I thought it was 2 years for 8.
It could be. I don't know. It's Pro Football Focus.
I heard it was 2 years for 8. But either way, that's either $4 million a year or $5.5. So they didn't sign him to be your number 1 running back. So I would say Brian Robinson's the number 1 running back there.
So yeah, Brian Robinson is for sure the number 1. Brian Robinson had a really good year, so I mean, I don't think they're gonna just be like
Brian Robinson or Swift.
Yeah, I'm gonna change my answer. I would take Swift over Eckler.
It's 50-50. I would be. They both finished. They finished 22 and 23. So I mean,
one's got a new guaranteed starting job. One's got Austin Eckler coming in, right? Toss up.
Yeah.
What about? Here's a good one, and we'll stop after this one. New team, new garbage team, just like fucking Swift, new garbage team. Aaron Jones.
I would take Aaron Jones over Swift.
I'm still taking Swift over Aaron Jones.
I might take Aaron Jones.
I mean, I like Aaron Jones a lot too, but if you're going to take one garbage team,
take him over Swift.
So fair enough. So but we're showing there that Swift is, like I said, I'm not vouching.
I'm not saying Swift is a bad running back. I'm saying he went to a very bad team who has other running backs on their roster that they're just not going to throw away. And with Justin Fields there, and I don't care what you think is going to happen with Justin Fields.
It's going to be Caleb Williams, bro. Why do you think it's going to be Justin Fields? You think they're literally going to pass?
Because they haven't done anything about it yet. And they might wait till the day of the draft.
Because nobody wants Justin Fields. Mike.
Right. So if nobody wants Justin Fields, they're not going to find a trade partner on the day of the draft either.
They're not going to draft Caleb Williams then? Because nobody wants Justin Fields? They're going to go Caleb Williams, a much better prospect.
I mean, I'm not saying that they won't draft a quarterback.
Yeah, they're going to.
I'm just saying that it's going to be Justin Fields because even if they have Justin Fields and draft Caleb Williams is not starting over Justin Fields.
Jay, will you talk this man straight, please?
I want to say that if they draft Caleb Williams, he's probably going to start, but I could see them letting Fields start and then switching over.
Okay, for the whole year?
Oh, for sure not. If Justin Fields is starting, he's not going to be the starter all year.
No. I mean, look at even last year. Like last year, Will Levis ended up starting towards the end of the year. They all did.
Well, Tannehill got hurt. That's the only reason why Levis started.
But Levis is a second rounder. You're talking about the first overall pick. You know what I mean? Like Caleb Williams is starting, I think. And I still think they'll move Justin Fields. The problem is nobody wants Justin Fields. Michael Fabiano came out and said he talked to GMs across the league about Justin Fields' value, and they said we wouldn't give them any more than a 6th round pick.
Yeah, he's dog shit.
Yeah, nobody wants him. So that's why there hasn't been a move. They probably want a 3rd or something, and the teams are just like, nah, bruh. No, we're not interested. So I don't know. It's wild. So we mentioned Calvin Ridley. We touched on Gus Edwards, and I mean, Gus Edwards.
Did we finish running backs?
Well, we talked about the big ones. Did I skip anyone?
Josh Jacobs, the Packers.
I kind of touched on him earlier, though. I think
he's got the same value. Same value he had last year, if not a touch higher. He's going into a better offense. You know, he was a early 2nd round pick last year. He's probably an early 2nd round pick this year, right? If not better.
Yeah. Chazz's boy Antonio Gibson going to the Patriots.
That's a little legitimately. Now, here's the thing about Antonio Gibson going to the Patriots. They're going to have Jaden Daniels as their quarterback, most likely, I would assume. So exactly what I said about Swift. A young quarterback's best friend is a tight end and a pass-catching back. So, again, not putting Antonio Gibson into the top 24 running backs, but got to keep your eye on in their drafts later is all. Depending on what they do for quarterback. I'm assuming they're going to end up with Jaden Daniels. Maybe J.J. McCarthy, but that's what I'm assuming. And then, for receiver-wise, all the big names are already gone. We talked about it. Calvin Ridley, blah, whatever. You're over there. Mac Hollins to the Bills, blah. Gabe Davis to the Jaguars, blah.
For that kind of money, too, fucking outrageous.
Yeah, I don't fucking care.
None of that. I don't think there was really been any other, crazy wide receiver moves.
Tight end.
I mentioned Darnell
most of
Mooney.
the wide receivers were re-signed or franchise tagged. I mean, the only thing is we don't know what's going to happen with T. Higgins. He asked for a trade.
Yeah.
There is here's one. Who am I? I have been a top 12 player at my position for the past 4 years, and I am going on a new team. I'm going on a new, young, and hungry team that needs me. Who am I?
For a tight end?
No, it's Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon has been a top 12 running back.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know we were still talking about running backs.
I just said
Joe Mixon.
I didn't know we were talking about running backs.
Yeah, I know. He just said about tight end, and then he's talking about running back.
I changed my mind. Joe Mixon has been a top 12 running back for the last 4 years, and now he's going to a pretty good offense that needs him.
Yeah.
No one likes Joe Mixon now.
I know, but he's literally been a top 12 running back for the last 4 years.
He's the most boring running back in the history of running backs.
Hey, now it's our time. We can see if it's him that's boring or Zach Taylor's that's boring. Now it's time to see.
I mean, he was boring before Zach Taylor, so.
Yeah, but.
Not wrong there.
Yeah. You're right. So I think that's huge for them. But I wanted to mention tight ends because I'm pretty sure that Cincy got a good tight end, a decent tight end. They needed one.
Gesicki.
Did they go with Mike Gesicki? Yeah.
Yep.
It's pretty good. It's a pretty good signing for them.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Gesicki, he's okay. He's not, the greatest tight end in the world, but he's going to work in that offense with Chase and Higgins. If Higgins
How
stays.
about Irv Smith Jr. going to KC?
That's where he needs to be. Everyone drank his Kool-Aid for years, and he can't stay healthy, and he can't be it. So go ahead and sit behind Kelsey. That's what he needs.
Yeah.
That's what he needs.
Where did Jonnu Smith go? Did he go to the
Dolphins.
Patriots, right?
Dolphins.
Oh, Dolphins. That's right. Yeah, sorry.
Thank God. Get him out of the
I forgot. Oh, Patriots re-signed Hunter Henry. That's right.
Yeah.
What about this guy? I know this is going to be controversial, but
unlimited.
What do we think about Russ to a playoff team that had terrible quarterback play? Now, we goof on Russell Wilson. I don't know if we hate Russell Wilson, but we goof on Russell Wilson.
No, we hate Russell Wilson.
But
he had a pretty decent year. Not great, but decent. Better than the year before.
So last year he had 29 total touchdowns and 3,000 passing yards plus. So pretty good year. Nothing spectacular.
Not bad
He's
numbers.
never been a major touchdown guy. He had a 40 touchdown season and a 35 touchdown season, 34. But most of the times, he's in the 20s anyway. So actually, last year was his he had 34, 35, 31, 40, a 4-year span there from 17 to 20. But 26 was his highest since then, basically. So Russell Wilson, we joke on him. He is going to a team now that has a much better defense, a much better receiver core, and if you want to say the running, yes, absolutely. Well, now they traded away Deontay Johnson. You're right, but
yeah,
they only have one. They only have one good wide receiver.
Pickens and Freiermuth. That's a lot better than big booty Jerry Jeudy and done nothing Cortland Sutton. And
I don't know. The Denver wide receiver core was rated as the number one.
And to be fair, he made Cortland Sutton look good. Cortland Sutton had 10 touchdowns last year. So that's for once he made Cortland Sutton do something. So I'm not saying Russell Wilson is a starting fantasy football option quarterback, but he finished the season at 12 or 13 last year. So he could be.
I don't even know if he'll be the starter though.
It really just depends on if they are truly done with Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, I don't think they are. I think this is more of a competition thing, and they're like, we'll give Russ 1.2 million minimum, and if we need to throw him in there, we can.
That's because the Broncos are paying the other 37 million of it.
Exactly, but they're like, we'll throw 1.2 million at this and see where it goes.
Sure.
Jay, you do realize that Kenny Pickett was riding the pine behind Mason Rudolph into the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
So, is it fair to say that Russell Wilson is better than Mason Rudolph? I think it's fair to say that.
Yeah.
So if he's backing up Mason Rudolph in the playoffs, why don't you think he's backing up Russell Wilson?
Maybe. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. Any other free agent signing you guys want to talk? I mean, we talked a lot. We'll get into these more when we get into our previews. But
you got Brian Burns to the Giants.
Oh yeah, let me share
another terrible trade by a Carolina Panthers team that just fucking sucks at trading.
So, here's the Giants. We've got Daniel Jones, who we gave a lot of money to. We have no receivers whatsoever. We just let our franchise running back go. So let's trade.
Sign Devin Singletary though.
Let's trade. Yeah, good choice. Good deal. Let's trade and overpay for a defensive lineman to go with our other two pretty good defensive linemen. Tell me that you didn't study under Brandon Beane without telling me you didn't study under Brandon Beane. I mean, that is such a Brandon Beane move from Joe Schoen. It's ridiculous. That's such a Brandon Beane move. Literally, that's everything the Bills do. They got lucky with Josh Allen that can propel their offense with dog shit. We're learning that Daniel Jones needs a couple of weapons, and you don't have any Daniel Jones.
No.
Trade and give him all that money.
Chazz's boy Leonard Floyd signed with the 49ers.
Oh, yeah, good. Yeah, I mean, did they end up resigning Chase Young, or is Chase Young still available?
Still available.
That's interesting.
I think. I haven't. He's a pretty big name. If he would have got signed,
he's not.
Would have just been all over.
Yeah, on this list, he's still saying he's not signed
because he wants a lot of money.
Chase Young's not. Clowney's not signed. Let's see if there's any other. Bud Dupree, I guess.
Yeah, none of the really defensive people went other than Christian Wilkins and Jordan Poyer. So that's what we got to say about that. All right, you guys want to see why I picked had you guys pick numbers at the beginning before, and I think it was before we were recording. I had you guys pick numbers.
Record yet, but recorded,
right. And this is so Jay, I believe you picked 16, and Adam, you picked 13, right?
Correct.
And here is why we picked numbers, because what we're going to do for the folks at home is we're doing the Pro Football Focus NFL mock draft.
Oh, man.
So, Adam, you picked the Raiders at 13.
Okay.
Jay, you picked the Hawks at 16. Oof. And I was rolling with the Bills. That's why I made you guys pick the numbers. So I'm rolling with the Bills at 28. So what's going to happen here is it's kind of just like a Madden fantasy draft. The computer is going to pick the players, and then you're going to be on the clock, Adam, at 13. All right?
This is going to be tough because I have no idea who's even available.
Well, no, it's going to all show on the screen here.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know anything about the players.
Well, just think about the Raiders. Their starting quarterback is Gardner Minshew. They have no running back. They have nothing.
So this is this is a fantasy draft, or is this for this year's
this is the
mock
NFL draft? This is going to be rookies.
Oh,
okay.
Boy. All right, go ahead.
So
I have no idea what the Seahawks need besides probably everything.
Right. So here we go. The Bears are on the clock. It's not me. Oh, I got to hit start draft.
We're only doing the first round, right?
Yeah. So we're starting the draft. The Bears are on the clock. Okay, then we're going to go in here. And it was a shocking first overall pick. The Bears went with Jaden Daniels, quarterback out of LSU.
Wow.
Yeah, take that, Chazz.
Not
so they were taking Caleb Williams.
Yeah. First of all, it's not going to happen because that's literally Justin Fields Jr. So why would they do that? And then Caleb Williams went second, and then Drake May went third. And like I said, these first three are guaranteed quarterbacks. So fourth, they went with Joe Alt. And then Jay's Chargers took Rome Odunze and not Marvin Harrison. Never going to happen. There's no way that Jim Harbaugh walks in and takes fucking a receiver. He's a pounded guy. He's going to take a lineman.
Also, anyway. If I were the Chargers anyways, I would take Harrison Jr.
Yeah, absolutely. First. Harrison Jr. went 6.
Mike Williams, yeah.
Neighbors go 7 to Neighbors go 7 to the Titans. So now the Titans, and this has Malik Neighbors and Nuke Hopkins and Calvin Ridley. So that's probably not going to happen.
And Treylon Burks.
So JJ McCarthy went to the Falcons, which I still think could happen. Brock Bowers went to the Bears. So the Bears. Brock Bowers is great. Brock Bowers is like a better prospect than Dalton Kincaid was last year. So they had your first edge rusher, Jared Verse, go to the Jets. You had your first cornerback, Terry and Arnold, go to the Vikes. You had a tackle, J.C. Latham, go to the Broncos. So, Adam, you are on the clock. It looks like it says the Raiders team needs quarterback, running back, offensive line, interior defensive line, linebacker, and defensive back. And probably, and so your best quarterbacks available are probably what? Michael Penix and Bo Nix. So you got Bo Nix, Michael Penix, Spencer Rattler.
So I don't think they go quarterback.
They're not going to running back either. I'm trying to help you out.
And I don't think they're going to go running back. I think they're going to go defensive, and I think they're going to start with the cornerback or safety or whatever defensive back that they need more. So I think they just go best available. They'll just take Bijan.
So they're going to take the white cornerback? The first white cornerback?
Fucking Raiders, dude.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They would definitely will. Yeah, they definitely will.
All right, so then the Saints went with tackle Talisi Fauga, and then the Colts went with Byron Murphy, the second defensive lineman out of Texas. So, Jay, you're on the clock. It says they need some offensive line help and an edge rusher. Or if you want to go crazy and go quarterback, why not? Gino's getting old.
He is.
Couple of linemen.
Oh, boy.
Pete Carroll's gone. They went offensive.
Dallas Turner.
They're going edge rusher from Alabama. Dallas Turner. Okay. Fair enough. And then, so before we get up to the Bills, I knew it. Son of a bitch. I knew it. Okay. So then it went Quinion Mitchell, cornerback to the Jags. Not saying that name to the tackle, to the Olamasina Fanashu, to the tackle to the Bengals. Troy Fanatu, tackle to the Rams. Jackson Powers Johnson, a center to the Steelers. Tyler Guyton, tackle to the Dolphins. Brian Thomas Jr., my boy that I think the Bills should take, goes to the Eagles. Wow.
Eagles are known for taking really good fucking defensive backs.
No, it's a wide receiver, bro. Draft. That's a wide receiver.
Oh, is it? I can't even see the fucking screen. I'm not going to lie to you.
Latu, edge rusher, goes to the Texans. Nate Wiggins, corner, goes to the Dallas Cowboys. Amarius Mims, a tackle from Georgia, goes to Green Bay, which makes sense. Another guy went to the Bills to draft. Kool-Aid McKinstry, the cornerback, goes to the Bucks. Another guy went to the Bills to draft. Chop Robinson goes as an edge rusher to the Arizona Cardinals. So now
I got to be honest, I don't know any of these fucking players.
Now it says the Bills' number one team needs are the receiver, tackle, defensive line, linebackers, and defensive back.
It's a good thing Chazz is the draft guy of this show.
Your best receivers here are Ladd McConkey, Adonai Mitchell, Troy Franklin, Roman Wilson. Did somebody take Xavier Worthy's all the way down here? Xavier Worthy's the guy that beat the fucking thing.
Yeah, he's
Ladd
just
McConkey.
fast. Do we know how good he is, though?
Bills fans would love Ladd McConkey because they're not showing him. I mean, I'm just going to call him out. He's white. So Bills fans will love him because he's white. So he's a white receiver.
We're about to get canceled, bro.
Yep.
It's not me. The Bills fucking idiot fans will like him. But guys,
Bills fans are
what you need to do for the Bills here is find a defensive lineman that is very undersized. And that's who they're gonna fucking take. Is the undersized,
and then they're going to develop him for 5 years before he plays.
Mm-hmm. And that's what they're gonna do here. I hate to break your guys' hearts, but they're gonna take Jazon Newton here, whoever he is.
Jesus.
So I hope it doesn't work that way for the Bills, because if we're gonna look back at what is this thing? Get this out of here. Nope, I didn't want that. Oh man, okay. I can't get out of it. There it is. Okay, so the Bills took Jazahir Newton. So this was a weird draft. Like Jaden Daniels is not going over Caleb Williams. Not happening.
3 quarterbacks, 1, 2, 3.
That's gonna be that. It's gonna be that in the draft. It's gonna just the only difference is these two are gonna how I think it's going to pan out is it's going to go Caleb, Drake, and Jaden. But it could go, it could go otherwise. But for the Bills, I don't think Cooper DeJean's going that early at him. And I know he was listed there, but I still don't think he's going to go that early. And to be fair,
probably not. Like I said, I don't know anything about these players. I don't.
Well, he's got.
I'll be the first to admit I have no idea what.
He gets the rap that he gets the rap that he's undersized and he's a little slow, and because he's white, oh my goodness. And he's not going to go that early, and that's the fucking Bills kind of player. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did get Cooper DeJean, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Brian Thomas Jr. Those are kind of the big names that I'm hoping to fall, but they all went before the Bills here. So,
yeah, I like Brian Thomas Jr. too.
And to be fair, Jazon Newton, who I took the Bills here, was ranked 11th in this draft. So he fell. But I don't fucking care about interior defensive linemen anymore.
Yeah, but don't. Sean McDermott does.
Yeah,
yep. He sure does.
All right. Well, we're getting to the end of the episode here.
No, Adam said he had something to say about Bills fans.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fuck them. I'm so mad at the Bills fans, dude, and I do this every year, dude. And you know exactly where I'm going with this. With the whole Jordan Poyer thing, shut the fuck up. You forgot that he didn't want to be here, okay? And when he was like, I need money, and remember the time when nobody wanted him to pay him money? and then the Bills re-signed him because they felt sorry for him.
Yeah. You mean the time that he wanted to go to Miami and Miami didn't want to pay him?
The time that he wanted to go to Miami from the beginning, and when they didn't pay him, he was like, "Oh darn, guess I'll go back to the Bills." And now we cut him, and he went to the Dolphins, and everybody's so fucking mad that he went to the Dolphins. Like, shut the fuck up, Bills fans. Please stop. The NFL is a business. Stop putting your loyalty in these fucking guys because they're all going to be gone anyway. Guess what? It's going to happen to Josh Allen too. You just don't know when. It's going to be the same fucking thing. Oh, I can't believe the Bills got rid of Josh Allen. Well, guess what? He's fucking 30 years old, and he's going to go to another team eventually. Right? I'm not saying now. Okay, right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, Jordan Poyer's in his fucking 30s. He's a 2-year-old.
He's gonna be like 33.
Guess what? He lives in fucking Miami. Guess where he wanted to be? Close to fucking home.
Guess what? Miami doesn't have to.
Safety.
Taxes.
Or taxes. And now they have a safety who probably won't start.
And still no taxes.
Who knows? Yeah, they don't have any taxes. You're exactly right.
I mean, we all want to leave New York because of taxes. So
New York sucks.
And this goes for every fan base. And I know all the fans of your team are this way about certain players. I'm sure Minnesota fans are pissed that they didn't get Kirk Cousins back. But who cares?
You want to know what I love about it?
Go ahead.
Is that they're like, oh, he's done so much for this community. What the fuck has Jordan Poyer done for our community?
Because, they always do something like the Jordan Poyer.
Because they all have charities and stuff like that.
Yeah, but what, honestly, can anyone name what Poyer has done? Like, you can name other players have done, but no one can say what he's really done. And then they're like, he's done so much for this team. He got paid to play, and he didn't bring us a championship. So, I mean, he was good.
At the end of the day, you think about it this way. Chazz, you have a job. Jay, you have a job. I have a job. Guess what? If a job comes along that's going to offer me more money than I'm making now, I'm going to leave my current job and go to the new job. Okay? The NFL is a business. It is a job. This is their work. It's just looked at differently because we look to them as entertainment. We watch the NFL weekly. We watch it on Thursdays. Even though the fucking Thursday games are trash, we still watch it because we're fans of the game. When college football is over, it's on Saturdays. We watch it on Saturdays. Guess what? When there's special games on Fridays, like Black Friday this year, and Christmas Day is on a Tuesday or Monday or whatever the fuck it falls, and when NFL, we're watching football regardless. It is a business at the end of the day. Guess what? Jordan Poyer didn't want to be here 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to pay him money for a 32-year-old safety. Guess what? Bills brought him back. Great. Everybody's happy. Guess what? Now time for him to go again to be where he wanted to be. Because guess what? He took less money to go back down to Miami. I don't know what to fucking tell you.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of people getting this oh, I can't believe he did that. Why? Why can't you believe it? Because he was a Buffalo Bill for, 7 years?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. If anyone comes up to any three of us that are sitting here right now, it's like, hey, we're going to pay you more money, and also you're going to keep an extra 20% because you don't have to pay income taxes. Well, we're all going to say, all right, sign me up.
Yeah. Guess what? Your $6 million salary is going to be a $6 million salary because you don't have to pay New York State whatever the fucking tax rate is on a on $1 million contract.
Yeah.
Hello. Think about it, people. Great. He was a Buffalo Bill. Did he play great? Sure.
And
he also had injuries and didn't stay on the field for a full season? Yeah.
Yeah.
Very aware of that.
And he also knows that this is probably going to be his last year. Maybe he's got another one or two if he's lucky. So it's for
one.
Yeah. So he's like, yeah, I'll take what I can get and make the most I can because this might be the last contract I sign. So.
And he gets to go home.
Yep.
Right, and playing better,
which is where it's not like he lived in Buffalo, like he was always in Miami. So I mean,
he literally lives in Miami. He left
again to my
Buffalo
point. He's not
in the off season to go back to Miami.
Yeah, he's not part of the community like other players live here. So I mean,
don't get me Deion Dawkins, great guy, does a lot for the community. Keep him, sure. A lot of people were fucking so mad when he trolled everybody on social media and said, "Bye, Bills, it was a great run." Guess what? They extended him. Everybody's happy again.
And here's a question that none of you
It's
guys
just a fucking business. Just let these players be.
Well, here's a question you guys don't have the answer to. I know you don't, because I don't, and nobody does, because the number is probably shocking. And that is, like, I'm so sick of hearing all these Bills fans and people going, oh my God, it's the end of an era. Trey White and Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde, the end of an era. How many fucking games did we play with those three healthy in the past 3 years? Seriously.
2, 3.
Well, you got to think.
When all three are healthy on the field. 6?
Last year, Trey missed, 3/4 of the season? The year before that, like all of it?
The whole season, yeah.
Micah Hyde missed the whole season.
It's just, they just don't understand the business side of football and how it runs as a business. Like, these players are here. Yes, like I said, we view them as entertainment because we're fans of the NFL. We're fans of our football team. But at the end of the day, those guys are doing the things that are bettering themselves and their families. Like, in 3 years or 4 years, whenever Josh Allen's contract is up, am I going to be mad if he goes to a different team? No, I'm not. Is it going to suck for a little bit because we're not going to have a good quarterback? Sure, I'm going to be upset. I'm a fan of the Bills. I love Josh Allen. You know, Patriots fans they still are mad that Tom Brady left them. Like, I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah,
it happens. It's part of the process of being a star athlete in a league that people watch for entertainment.
Yeah, part of the fan thing too is like I've seen fans were like, "Oh, how could the Bills do this?" And it's like, what the fuck don't you understand? We're like negative $60+ million in the hole. How do you think we're going to solve that?
Yeah,
we have to cut aging players on their last year contracts for the most part, and then restructure. Like, this is how it works. These players want the most money they can get in a salary cap era, so these decisions have to be made because they want paid up the ass. Yeah. So
and let them go do what they want to do to get their bag.
Yeah, just like somebody like Austin Eckler. He is pushing 30 years old. He's fallen off a cliff. He decided
he's
that
31.
He wants to go win a championship instead of assign money. So he went to the Washington Commanders because Austin Eckler is just about winning. He's not about money. Fucking idiot. What a dumbass, Austin Eckler. I didn't even get to.
I mean, he didn't even get paid that much money either. So
I know. He went and signed for like $4 million a year with the Washington Commanders to back up Brian Robinson. Like, good job.
Brian, I got shot in the ass, Robinson.
Brian, I got shot in the ass, Robinson. So good job, Austin Eckler. All right, let's get to our game.
That's my thanks for listening to my rant, guys.
For your Adam talk. All right, guys, we're playing.
You're welcome for reminding you.
Yes, thank you. That was
a fun
segment. So we're going to play Weddle here, guys. For you guys you at home, and we're starting with Weddle. It's an NFL player guessing game. It's only offensive players this round.
I was going to say, is this the easy one? Okay.
The easy one. So, Adam, what do we start with?
So,
we start with Josh Allen.
Yeah, we always start with Josh Allen, so let's go AFC East. I like it. All right. Right off the bat, we know it's a quarterback, and it's in the NFC.
He's an NFC quarterback. Yep. He's shorter than 6'5", and he's older than Josh Allen. So it's not Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray.
Russ Wilson.
Yeah. It could be wrong. No, he's in the NFC.
Nope, it's not. He's a Steeler now.
And he was.
Oh, shit. Is this updated current,
but he would have been in Denver anyway. So
it should be.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
What about Geno? Let's try Geno.
Is he?
I don't know if he's older than Josh Allen. He's got to be, right?
I didn't know if he was taller.
Okay.
Josh is
so he's in.
Yeah, I know he is, but I thought Geno was like around there.
All right, so he's in between 33 and 27, and his number is lower than 7. So think of NFC quarterbacks.
Shorter than 6'3".
Could it be Baker?
Could
it be Baker?
No.
He's the same age. He's the same age as Josh, isn't he?
What number was Baker Mayfield?
6.
I thought.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I thought he was 10.
Got him.
Oh, nice. Good call. Look at that.
Baker, I knew was a year older because Josh was like the youngest prospect that year.
Nice.
So we got him. So let's try the hard one. This one's tough.
So this is all the NFL, right?
Yeah.
This could be defense. Okay. So we'll always start with Josh Allen in Buffalo. So it's an AFC defensive player.
AFC.
So the AFC
that's taller than 6'5". Holy shit, and older than 27.
So
God damn.
Linebacker. So you're looking at a tall linebacker in the AFC. It's got to be a line or a lineman.
Is it?
I was going to say, could it be an offensive lineman though?
No, because it would be yellow for this. It's on.
I think it would only be yellow if it was a skilled position like a quarterback, wide receiver, running back, or tight end.
So
but I'm not positive.
But
let's go.
Big defensive.
So it's not AFC East. So we're thinking AFC West, North, and South.
Yeah. Let's try Joey Bosa. Okay, so it's
all right. So it is a defensive player. Oh, this is really interesting. Look at the number. He wears number 98 or 99.
Oh boy,
he's a linebacker or lineman. He's taller than 6'5", though. He's older than 28. So he's going to be in the South or the North. So let's think of somebody in like the Steelers. What about
he's either defensive line or defensive back?
Yeah, but it's who wears number 98 or number 99? That is the question.
Right, but we're trying to. All right, so it's an AFC South guy.
AFC South.
So it's a defensive lineman. The AFC South. He's 29 years old. So AFC South, Colts, Titans, Houston. Who am I missing?
Jaguars.
Could
it be the other Josh Allen?
No, he's a linebacker. He's not that old. So I don't even want to put it out there.
I thought he was a defensive end.
No, he's a linebacker. He's not that old. He's not 29. We'll try it. We'll do it. We'll try it. I don't think it is because he's a linebacker, but we'll try it.
I thought he was a defensive end, but I could be very wrong.
So
okay, all right. So it's not Jacksonville,
and his number's like 40.
And I didn't know his number.
Okay, so we got the South, so we know it's not Jacksonville. So
that leaves us with the Colts, the Titans, and the
Forrest Buckner.
Jesus Christ, I can't.
Oh my God, got him!
How the fuck, dude? Oh my God!
Because the Colts, and he's older. He's a 99. He's 99. Yep. So it's DeForest Buckner for the Colts. 6'7".
Very nice. Very nice pull. I was actually going to go the defensive lineman for the Titans, Simmons.
Yeah, he's 98.
But that was a good pull. Is he? Well, it would have fit.
Well, let's try
nice
draft.
Pull.
And I think I got to reshare, right? I got to reshare now. Yeah. So reshare, we'll do Draftle. Stop that. Reshare, Draftle. I'm doing good, man. That was awesome. All right, Draftle.
That was a good pull.
As always, Jay, where are we starting?
Josh Allen.
Draftle. Though this one is a drafting game, and this first one is only offense. So Josh Allen. We're going to start with Joshy boy. Oh my goodness!
Wow.
So Buffalo first round pick, AFC. So Buffalo first round pick after Josh Allen. So defense. So the next year was Ed Oliver.
I thought this was only offense.
Yeah.
Okay, so then it would have been first round pick. Oh, it's got to be Dalton Kincaid. It's Kincaid.
Oh yeah,
the only offensive guy we ever drafted.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got him.
Wow. On round 2. Let's go.
Oh, fucking go. Okay, let's try the hard one. Josh, fucking Dalton Kincaid. See, that's what I get. How many times have I complained that the Bills, that Nick Dean have only drafted Josh Allen and Dalton Kincaid in the first round? How much have I complained?
Wow. That's fantastic.
All right, so we got first round.
All right, so this is good. 2018 in the NFC
defense.
And in the first round.
So
where, and he's higher than a 7th overall pick.
It's so hard to fucking nail these.
So where did,
and it was 2018,
and it was 2018.
So that was
what
big.
year did Nick Bosa get drafted?
Yeah,
he's like 3rd overall. Wouldn't be him.
Was he?
Year. Yeah. But I would say Bosa anyway because it will put us on the defensive.
But it'll at least give us the NFC
2nd overall. See, I even was wrong. So it's not the West.
2019. Okay.
So he's not a defensive end. Shit. So he's probably a corner.
So I was going to say he's a defensive back. Not in the West. So that leaves us with East, North, and South.
And he's higher than 7.
And he's higher than 7th overall pick. This is where I lose I just lose draft picks so easily because I can never remember what year anybody was drafted.
Corners. Okay, so let me try Marshawn Lattimore. I know that's not the right year, but it will give us a. Okay, so it's not the South.
Still higher than 11, though.
He's not a corner, though. He's not a corner.
So that leaves us with safety
or linebacker. So it's probably linebacker if it's between defense and corner.
What about Terrell Edmonds? He was drafted in 2018.
Oh, you're right.
Safety.
But it's all right. Tremaine was as well. You're right. They both were. Oh, it's AFC.
Lower than 28th.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, it was AFC.
That's okay.
So it's
that gives us a good overall pick, though.
So, yeah. So lower than...
So the 11... So the 11 being highlighted yellow means that we're within 2 or 1?
Yeah, it's like near 11. So it's... And it was also near...
It's got to be either around 12 or 13, I think.
No, because it's near
overall
7,
pick, I mean.
Up on Josh Allen. So it's 8,
and
9,
it's either...
Good point.
Sure. And it's got to be defensive line.
Or the linebacker. So let me choose. No one's cheating. No one's cheating, guys. What about Roquan Smith? No, he was the year before. But let's see because
but wasn't he also AFC?
No, Roquan. No, he was NFC. He was a Bear.
Oh, right. ROQ.
I'll find it here. Just go in this area. Nobody's cheating, guys. I promise you. I'm not cheating here. You can see. Okay, Roquan Smith. Okay. So he's not in line. So he's an outside linebacker or an interior defensive. What the fuck?
Yeah, this is where
guy from the Bucks.
Shaq Barrett.
No, defensive line.
Vita Vea.
Yes,
it's not him. I don't think. No, it's not Vito. But he's a defensive tackle.
He is a defensive tackle, though. That's always good.
All right, and it's
higher than 12.
So he's like 13.
So we're looking at 13 and 14.
All right. So Vita Vea went 12. Who would have been after him? And it's the NFC East.
NFC.
So Cowboy, Eagles, Giant, Redskin. Oh, sorry. My bad. Skin. Commander. Deron Payne?
Yeah, it could be him.
Is he younger than that? Got him.
That's a good pull.
That's how you do it, guys.
Nice.
Let's just see what his actual stats were there. 13th out of Alabama.
Yep.
Deron. Good job, guys. That one was tough.
Nice. That was a tough one. The draft ones are always tough for me. Like I said, I don't follow it like you do, Chaz.
The defense is tough.
Yeah, when you start getting defensive players, that gets hard.
Well, we did one last week where whoever the guy was, it was some cornerback we never even heard of.
Yeah,
none of us knew.
Well, that's the problem too, is because if they start getting into like 6th, 7th round picks, it's like, who?
Yeah, right. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining the show, Adam. Thanks for joining us for once.
Yeah, man. Happy to be back. Let's do it again.
Steady Eddie J over here every week, so probably take the next week off unless there's some big news, but it's time for your draft prep, guys. Get ready. Get ready, boys. All right, everybody. Thanks for checking out the show. Until then, we'll see you next time. Peace.
Later, guys.
Bye.
See you.
The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network.